so Sky to like hotels, pubs, restaurants, and things like that as well. Within Sky Business, I've done 2 rotations so far. So I started in our ops team. So that was more, if you're thinking of software development lifecycle, that was sort of like the maintenance side of things. It was more looking over, making sure everything's working, keeping an overview of all the systems, getting an idea of like, well, we looked after things like ref data as well, which you might touch on. But then after 6 months, I moved to software engineering, which is Shona's team, and she was blessed with me, which I wouldn't wish on anyone. In software engineering, I've done quite a lot. I've went from doing some just minor apps just to make life in the team a bit easier for like things like tracking holidays and tracking releases. Recently, I have actually migrated all of our source code control from our old system. We used a system called SVN, and I've been migrating a lot of our source code on Git, which is what I'm going to be showing you over the next few weeks how to do. But then on top of that, there's been plenty of other opportunities in there as well. I've done things like, well, I'm the creative lead for LGBT at Sky Employee Network. So for personally myself, I also create content for that, for like TV content, TV spots, adverts, posters, host different like calls with celebrities and stuff like that for internal use. And it's like about creating equal rights for everyone in the workplace, regardless of sexuality and gender. And then on top of that, I also do all the same kind of stuff, but for Sky Early Careers. So last year, I made the apprentice recruitment video with my fellow apprentices as well. So there's plenty of opportunities in what I've done, and it's actually covered quite a lot in my units off without me realising it, which is quite handy. But I've got to do a bit of everything. Technology-wise, I've dealt with quite a lot of our older legacy software from like the 2000s, 2010 era, which is fun, I have to say. Especially the way to think of it is like it was just a giant pile of spaghetti. The code was just spaghetti, and we're having to try and unravel it one bit at a time to fix all these ancient issues that have existed since day one. But I've moved on to starting to look at newer stuff. So recently I've been learning things like, working on my JavaScript again, so I can learn React. And that's mainly just because we've built a brand new website for our side of Sky for our customers to use. And that's built with React, so we need to know that. There's a lot of other newer technologies that we get into as well, but I'm not going to bore you all today. Any luck, Shona?
I'm only getting the option to share content, not share desktop. That's why I can't see what I need to share.
Might be.
And I can't request control from you either. I've not got that option either.
Share content should allow you to share your desktop. It should be on the far left of your screen. Send me the SharePoint link in a private chat and I'll run the video on my side then.
I've not got it in SharePoint, mate.
Okay. What we'll do is we'll send you the videos to watch separately. It's just a sort of introduction to life about how the modern apprenticeship is ran nowadays anyway, with everyone working from home. I was lucky enough, I got to work in the office for 6 months before the first lockdown started, so got a good bit of life in there. And honestly, it's not what you'd expect. You'd expect it to be maybe a bit more, oh, she got it. Okay, I'll let Shona show you the video then. Sure, you need to share the audio too.
I think it's time to move. Come on to move. Come on to move. Come on. I think it's time to move. I think it's time to move. Come on now. Wake up, start it up. I think it's time to move. Come on now. Wake up, start it up. 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 So come on, get real. So come on, get right. All we need is the groove and the way we move. Yeah, we're turning up. So come on, get real. We can do it all night. 'Cause I'm loving this groove and the way we move. Yeah, we're turning
Hi, I'm Alicia, I'm 27 and I'll be working in the Sky business team.
Hi, I'm Sarah, I'm 25 and I'll be working in the automation testing team.
Hey, I'm Michael, I'm 25 and I'll be working in the infrastructure team.
Hello, I'm Bradley, I'm 18 and we work in the service operations department.
Hi, I'm Andrew, I'll be working in service operations and we are all Sky Technology apprentices at Livingston. I chose to work at Sky because it's a great start to my career in such a stable and well-known company.
I chose to work at Sky because I just left school and I know I didn't want to go to university or college, but I still want to learn, but also work, so I thought working for Sky would be a good opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I wanted to work at Sky because I'd already been to uni and I wanted to change my career path, and going back wasn't an option. So learning a new career with people who do what they do best seemed like the best option for me.
I wanted to continue to work at Sky because of how inclusive they are of all their staff members and the different networks they have, including Women at Sky and the LGBTQ plus networks.
I wanted to work at Sky because I'd heard that they were an absolutely fantastic company to work for. So that seemed like a really nice fit for me. It's been challenging being an apprentice remotely, but everyone at Sky has been really helpful and supportive.
It has been more difficult being a virtual apprentice, but you are offered constant support and everybody is in contact with you all the time, so there's always someone to speak to if you need help.
Yeah, it's not been the easiest adapting to this form of work. However, we've got the added bonus that the 5 of us all started at the same time. So we've been getting to know each other and working probably closer than if we were working in the office, which has been a huge bonus.
Yeah, it was rather new and a bit challenging to get used to the fact that everything started from home, as you wouldn't really expect an apprenticeship to start that way. But over the time, it has been kind of easy-ish to get used to, as this is currently the norm, everything being from home. And yeah, it's been good working and getting to know these guys more.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly how I imagined it to be at the very start. I was hoping that we'd be in the office, but obviously coronavirus made that a bit difficult for all of us. But all the staff and the trainers that I've been working with have been absolutely fantastic at making it as comfortable as possible. And the group that I'm with just now have been absolutely amazing to work with as well. And I'm excited to see what Sky has to offer when things go back to normal. The reason why I chose tech was because I've always had a passion for technology. It seemed like the best role that I'd always be engaged in.
The reason I chose technology was because in school I did computing science as a subject and I found it really interesting. And because technology is the way of the future, I just thought I want to learn more for myself, and I feel like it'd just be the perfect job to get into.
I chose technology because I had learned a little bit about it in my previous role and was interested to learn more, so moved into this field.
I chose technology because I've always had an interest in the subject, and it's always changing, so I know it'll be an area where I'll never get bored.
So to wrap things up here, Sky is a company made for everyone. Whether you're wanting to go straight from school into a working environment, or you just want to get some working experience before going to university, Sky is for you. If you're interested, applications open in December later this year over at the Sky Early Careers website.
From the 5 of us here, we look forward to seeing you at Sky soon, and good luck with all your applications. Bye.
Bye.
So finally,
So they were all our year 1 apprentices. They were all doing their SEQF level 6 in IT telecom professionals, as I'm aware a lot of you are. So they're about, what must be nearly a quarter of the way through their entire course now. So hopefully soon we'll get a chance for you to maybe work with them in the future. Other events we do like this. I'm counting on one of them to carry on what I've been doing here. But based on what you've heard me rattle on about and what you've heard Shona say and what you've seen in the video, anyone have any questions for us?
Yes. Why did you have to stick bug me?
So when the new apprentices joined, it was the first, like, in my intake there was only 4 of us and no one was really around my age. There was one guy, but he's a lot more mature than me. But when new apprentices joined, 2 of them had the same mental age as me, about 5. So we thought it'd be a great idea to start stick bugging each other, and one of them reacted quite funnily to it. We always got mad every time we saw it, so we all started stick bugging him, and it's just stuck as one of my backgrounds. Anyone else? Don't worry, because you've also got me for 5 weeks as well. So if today you can't think of any questions, don't worry, you can still ping them to me over the next few weeks if you have any. And then there will be a wrap-up session after the 5 weeks as well, just to, like, for me to give you guys feedback, vice versa, and for you to ask any more questions about, like, what I do, the apprenticeship, what opportunities you have going forward, and that kind of thing as well. But one of the things I did want to ask you was about the kind of stuff you have done so far anyway. So, like, I've already got an idea about, yeah, you can use the chat to ask questions as well. Do you have any side projects, anything else you have worked on outside of, like, your coursework that's helped you develop your skills in different languages?
I
Oh, Jacob? I think you just got called away. Anyone else? Anyone done any side projects or anything so far?
okay. I just one of the teachers was shouting at someone. I tried to make a game before, but that project crashed and burned like the Heidelberg.
Mm. I like that reference. No, because I know it's a hard thing to get into, especially like when creating a game. There's a lot of devotion that needs to go into that, considering how it grows arms and legs so quickly. I'd noticed Ryan says that you mod for Gmod in Minecraft. Welcome to the club. Used to do that as well back in the day. Had a firing my laser gun that literally just used to say I'm a firing my laser every time you pressed it, and then it would just fire at rainbows and cats. What kind of stuff have you added into Gary's mod and into Minecraft? I'll give him a chance to play. Oh, GTA 5, sorry. I don't know where I got Minecraft from there. Ryan, what kind of stuff have you modded into that? And what languages did you use anyway when doing that? Oh, nice. That's actually a good one because I know, especially Napier, require you to use C# for when you're in your third year. I know because I'm trying to, when I come off of this program, I'm trying to go for the honours in software development, and that is a requirement on the third year. So that's a really good one there. And that was actually the point I was wanting to make. For progression for you guys going forward, it is good to have these wee side projects that you do along the way, because it does help sort of build like a portfolio of your skills. And yeah, like Jacob says, you might not need to know how to program well, but being able to find exploits and glitches is another big thing as well, especially nowadays. A lot of companies will hire bounty hunters who can do that kind of thing. And it is a good way to make money. One of my pals, well, she works for Warner Brothers down in London, and she makes games for them. But one of the things they also have is sort of like an open bounty type thing for all their developers as well. If they discover like glitches and stuff in their games that are already live in production, that if they report them, they can get that kind of money. So it's a handy thing to have there anyway.
Someone that's good at that sort of thing, you might find you could get a lot of money working somewhere like Sky in testing or automated testing where you're writing code to find bugs. So, you know, think wide of what your skills could bring you as well.
Definitely handy thing to do, and like I said, make up a like portfolio, things you find, things you've made, things you're working on. If you make up a wee portfolio, things like that are great to show employers, because to give you a wee idea, I applied for the apprenticeship 3 times for Sky, and I got in on my 3rd time, but I impressed Shona on my 1st time. That was the important thing, and making those connections is like networking like that, and having people know your talents is a very important thing going forward in the world, especially if you're wanting to go into like cybersecurity like Dylan, or if you're wanting to go into games development or software development or even web authoring and that. Like, you've got plenty of choices, but just make sure you build up the resources behind you to turn around and be like, I'm actually this good. Here's what I've done. Now, I noticed as well we've ran over a wee bit there, but I'll put that down to the issues we try to get people into the call. I will send out an invite for next week's one. And again, if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them into the chat and I'll get back to you, or you can email me directly. The email gavin.newton@sky.uk, the one that I used to email out the invites for this. Feel free to email me back on that one. And I'll happily answer any questions I can. Next week's session, we're going to go in and it's going to be about setting up a Git repository. Because what we're going to do is we're going to be going through source code control, and basically it's a very important topic if you're going in any workplace, working in technology and you're doing any development work of that. I'll explain a bit more about why we're choosing Git over all the other ones. Shadow War, found on it, Reddit got patched. I know a lot of them do search on forums like that as well. But it's quite good. Freelance stuff like that, Jacob, can get you recognised as well. I know Google just done a, what's it called, a scavenger hunt type thing, where basically they planted cookies in everyone's browsers for when they were searching for specific terms, coding terms, how to do advanced techniques and stuff. And they actually then put out like a scavenger hunt for trying to find a job. based on that kind of stuff. So it is good to make sure you're known out there. But aye, so we will go into why we're using Git for source code control. You'll also be able to create your own repository for storing your own code if you're working on any websites, any of your coursework that might be relevant to, because I know some of you are doing like object-oriented programming, event-driven programming, procedural programming. All of these units I've already done before. I will touch on a lot of these units as well, and there will be a lot of it which will tie into any remaining coursework you might have around things like interpersonal and written communication, personal effectiveness, and investigating and defining customer requirements. I've said those units way too many times in my life. So I'll send you out an invite with a rough idea of what we're going to be doing next week. That'll come in the next few days. I will also be sending Alison a slide deck for the what we're going to be going through next week, just so in advance you can have a wee look through it. And it's just because I can't really share two items on my screen at the same time because I've got small monitors. So
and can I just jump in there? I'll put those onto the Moodle Skills Academy, but I'll also email them round to you. So if you've all jumped onto Moodle and used the Skills Academy that I've been sending out links to, you'll find them on there, plus other things that could interest you as well.
And again, if you have any questions once you've seen the slides before it, feel free to ping me, or you can ask me during the walkthroughs as we go through setting up your repositories and things. Next week is just going to be me showing you how to do it. I don't expect you to follow me along with it, because at the end of it, I will be giving you out requirements for creating your own one. So Ryan and Dylan, you have a good sense of humour. So I'll speak to you next week and keep an eye out for the invites. If you have any questions, feel free to ping me or Shona, especially if it's anything related about Sky or the apprenticeship programs. But thank you for joining us today.
I want to say thanks for Gavin for meeting you all virtually, and Shona. And it's been great, and I hope you all turn up next week because it's going to be part of your course to complete this. So thanks ever so much, everybody.
There's the incentive.
Cheers, guys. Good luck.
Thanks.